Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Teddy Chess and welcome back to another day art survival video, kinda, because today we will not actually be playing the game. Instead, we will actually learn something, or like just pretty much discussion, right? About Chicken Kiev. And yes, this is pretty much the same as previous one that I did with the Tula Prianic, if you remember. Or if you haven't watched that video, then watch it. It's pretty much we will actually learn the culture, or learn the origin of this kind of food. And the reason why I picked chicken Kiev is that, well, obviously it's from Kiev, right? um, like in the game, right? So yeah, I was kind of curious about chicken Kiev because I I look at this stuff over here and I just suddenly think about chicken cordon bleu, right? Chicken about chicken cordon bleu. I mean, and it kind of looks like the same, right? I wonder if this is that or if there is something else, right? Maybe this is like some kind of croquette, or what is it, like some kind of mashed potato, I guess, that you have some filling inside the mashed potato, right? But I know that this is not that because it says chicken Kiev, right? So it's pretty much chicken, that you, what is it, like that you make it flat, make the chicken flat, and then you put some stuff inside, right? And then you roll that, and then you put some kind of, I don't know, like breadcrumb probably, or like the, what is it, like the pastry, right, at the outside, maybe, the same style as chicken cordon bleu probably, right? Again, I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is that or it's just, like the naming, right? Because it's from Kiev, then maybe it's called chicken Kiev, but maybe like internationally it's considered as chicken cordon bleu, right? Who knows? That's why we're here. We will actually be learning about that in a second, right? But first, let's actually take a look at the chicken Kiev itself. Weight is 150 grams. That's quite heavy for a plate of food, I would say. That's a lot of chicken. That's a lot of protein, if you ask me. Um, the stats: health plus 10, kind of nice. Always nice, I mean. But then again, I kind of want, every time I go into battle, I kind of want my what is it, my health to be low enough so that it can trigger this polar armor, right, for the berserk damage. And that's about it. So the plus 10 health is probably not the best idea here, but I guess it's kind of alright, right? And then for the food, 150 pretty much, and 100. So it kind of makes sense because, as you can see, the item weighs about 150 grams, right? That's about zero point 0.1 kilograms. That's about uh, zero point 0.3 pound, basically, right? So yeah, like 0.3 pound of food, basically, right? And yes, as you can see, it's kind of a lot, right? Like it's kind of heavy meal, right? So it kind of makes sense that it has 150 food and 100 water as well. So yeah, that's about it. Also, the perk, which is Headhunter, it increases the damage to people, or basically bandits, looters, shamans, and stuff like that by additional 25%, which is pretty much nice considering that polar armor was nerfed from 100% extra damage to 50. So you might want the extra 25% from the foot buff, right? Which is, I would say it's okay. It's still great. It's actually very great to compensate the loss of extra damage from the nerf. But pretty much, if you eat this, you can pretty much one shot opponents, and that's about it. So yeah, that's all the chicken Kiev in game. Oh yeah, recipe as well. Kind of forgot already. So the recipe, as you can see, it is pretty much cookable, right? Unlike Tula Prianic, chicken Kiev is not available from the actual NPC at Kiev. You cannot actually get this from there. Um, you actually have to craft this or cook this yourself. As you can see, it will require meat, basically minced meat. Obviously chicken, right? But since we don't have chicken, I guess meat works, right, for the game mechanics in general. Just because we don't have chicken meat, and that's about it. And then flour, it makes sense because the pastry, right, for the outer part probably. And then chicken is probably for the filling in the middle. And then the egg, and the salt and the rusks. I think the egg and salt is pretty much to make the pastry with the flour for the outer skin. And then for the rusks, I guess you can use this as breadcrumbs, and that's about it. Also, obviously spices because yeah, like like spices, right? Obviously, it should be there, right? Like I don't know, black pepper, what is it, like salt, pepper, I don't know what else you put there. Maybe I don't know, like uh, I don't know, pretty much anything that you want, right? Maybe you want some cumin, maybe you want some coriander, maybe you want some what is it called again? Some oregano, maybe you want some what, yeah, pretty much everything, right? And maybe some ginger powder as well, who knows, right? Onion powder and stuff like that. It's pretty much spices, right? So yeah, like obviously, right? And yeah, as you can see, it will give you one. And that's about it, I guess, Chicken Kiev, for the introduction from the game. Now let's take a look at the Wikipedia. I think I found an article about Chicken Kiev, and we'll actually learn about that in a second, right? But yeah, I will be right back. Okay, here we are now in the Wikipedia. This is Chicken Kiev, and also, by the way, did you guys heard that in the background? There is like raining happening right now in my area, and hopefully my voice is still recorded properly so that I don't have to redo this video again, right? So yeah, it's been raining lately from afternoon to evening, and pretty much that's all the time that I've got to record videos anyway. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, right, that you have to listen to the rain in the background. Hopefully that doesn't bother a lot of people. Well, I mean, the previous videos from months ago, there's like construction happening in the background anyway. I guess it shouldn't matter, right? I mean, if you watch me from way back then it should be. I mean, it should be. You should be get used to that, right? But yeah. Anyway, Chicken Kiev. Okay, I think there's pictures down below. So yeah, we will be checking that. Also, I will also probably check the Google image as well, just like previously with Tulaprianic, right? Just look at the pictures of various chicken Kievs, and yeah, like basically just I don't know, drooling ourselves for this delicious food, right? But yeah, chicken Kiev, Ukrainian, Romanized. Okay, so that's the pronunciations probably, or the native language, right? What it's like from Ukrainian or in Russian as well, right? Sometimes known as chicken Kiev, is a dish made of chicken fillet pounded and rolled around cold butter. Okay, so it's the same then. Like I said, you have the chicken and then you make it flat, right? By pounding and roll it, right? Then coated with egg and breadcrumbs, and either fried or baked. Oh, so you rolled around cold butter. Oh, okay, so oh, interesting. So you put cold butter in the middle then, and then you roll the flat chicken fillet, I guess, and then you coat that with egg and breadcrumbs. Oh, so you don't need flour then. Okay, I thought you need the flour for the pastry for the outer skin, but apparently you don't. So yeah. So it's basically after you roll that, you coat with egg and then breadcrumbs, right? And then either fried or baked. Okay. Stuffed chicken breast is generally known in Ukrainian and Russian cuisines as côtelette de volaille. I don't know how to pronounce that. Since fillets are often referred to as supremes in professional cookery, the dish is also called supreme de volaille à la Kiev. Okay, so it's from Kiev, right? Um, Supreme is probably like I don't know, like what is it called? Like um what is it called again? Yeah, like professional cookery, I guess, like Supreme, right? Like just like the Supreme Oreo, Supreme whatever, right? Supreme T-shirt, Supreme stuff, right? It's basically like high quality. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Though it has disputed origins, the dish is particularly popular in the post-Soviet states, as well as in several other countries of the former Eastern Bloc, and in the English-speaking world. Okay, so oh, here we go. Chicken Kiev cut open. Okay, so um, as you can see, this is the pretty much the chicken, right? Chicken breast probably. You make fillet, and then it's kind of thick if you ask me. Okay, usually if you make something like chicken cordon bleu, it's kind of not this thick. You roll that multiple rolls, right? And it kind of creates like some kind of layers inside. But this looks like you only rolled this one time, and that's about it. Okay, interesting. Also, as you can see over here, the brown is from the breadcrumbs, and yeah, it doesn't seem like they have the pastry for the outer skin, but I don't know. Obviously, this is the butter, right? That melts, and then obviously also there is vegetables. Oh, it's kind of weird as well that in game, we don't actually use vegetables, right? I think. Anyway, did it use vegetable? I don't think so, right? It needs, what is it, like a flour, egg, and then spices, salt, water, I think, and then rusk as well. But I didn't actually see vegetable, which is kinda interesting. Maybe I did, but I forgot. But yeah, anyway, there's that, right? There's this chopped, I guess, like some kind of, yeah, like the same stuff with the like parsley, right? Like parsley chopped, probably. Again, I'm not sure because I've never cooked any of this stuff, honestly. Um, Maybe one day I will maybe will try to make my own, right? Maybe that's for the content for the channel as well. Who knows, right? I mean, at this point, like who knows what's gonna happen with this channel, right? Anyway, alternative names. I think this is we already covered above. Course main. Okay, so it's main course, right? So like the course is basically like you have appetizer, and then main course, obviously, or the heavy dish, the heavy meal, and then after that you finish with some kind of dessert, right? And that's about it. So yeah, it's considered as main course then. Place of origin: Russian Empire. Associated national cuisine from Ukrainian, also from Russian as well. Serving temperature: hot. Well, yeah, obviously you don't want this cold, right? Because I feel like the butter, I think, because they use butter inside, right? You kind of want that melted, so you don't want this to be cold because if you put it cold, then the butter will start getting a little bit hard, right? It starts being solid, right? So yeah, you probably don't want that. So bad by hot, I mean obviously not blazing hot, like literally out of oven, and then you eat that. No, I don't think it's with like that. Probably like a worm, right? But I guess it's just for either hot or cold food, right? So yeah, it's hot food, I guess. Main ingredients will be chicken breast. Again, we don't have chicken in game, therefore we just use minced meat, right? Which is kind of obviously a little bit weird if you ask me, but so be it, right? I guess since the game doesn't have it, it makes sense that we still have that with meat, right? And then garlic butter. Okay, butter also we don't have in game. Maybe, just maybe in the future we'll be able to transform or convert fat into butter, probably, right? um, since butter is pretty much just fat plus salt, right? I mean, there is unsalted butter, obviously, but it's pretty much from fat, right? But yeah, and then herbs, okay, that's spices basically, right? And then eggs and breadcrumbs, okay, so okay, eggs and breadcrumbs. Still not sure why the game needs flour in it. Despite of the actual food, the chicken cave, they don't really use flour, right? Like I said, usually flour you use that for pastry, right? So in this case, if you use flour, then it will be for the outer skin. But apparently they don't use that. So I'm not sure why the game makes it with flour for their ingredients. So yeah, history now. Okay, history. The history of this dish is not well documented, and various sources make claims about its origin. Since the 18th century, okay, Russian chefs have adopted many techniques of French haute cuisine or haute cuisine, I guess, and combined them with the local culinary tradition. The adoption was furthered by the French chefs such as Marie Antoine, or I don't know how to pronounce that, and someone else who were hired by Russian gentry, okay? In particular, the use of quality meat cuts, such as various cutlets, steaks, scallops, and supremes, became widespread in the 19th century. Oh, okay, so you can use steaks as well. I guess that makes sense now, right? Since we use minced meat, and that's about it. And a number of original dishes involving such components were developed in Russia at that time. Okay, so if you haven't watched the Tula Pryanik one, also Tula Pryanik was invented around the same time, I believe. I think it was about 17th century, so it's pretty much like in the past, right? Pretty much in the past. So yeah. Okay, so here we go. We have this common Russian minced chicken cutlet. Oh, okay. So this one's smaller version of that, I think, because this looks like bite size. If you ask me, not really bite size, but more like in smaller chunks, right? So yeah, this looks like the breast, chicken breast, and then there's the stuff in the middle, right? So yeah. The French term means literally of poultry and denotes almost exclusively chicken dish in French cookbooks. Okay, the name means thus simply chicken cutlet. Despite the original French name, the Russian recipe is unknown in French cuisine, where the term refers to chicken breasts in general. Oh, I see. And is used nearly synonymously with chicken fillet or supreme. The French term also denotes a minced chicken cutlet shaped patty. Oh, they make it into patty shaped. Okay. The general Russian term of chicken cutlets, kurinaya kotleta, okay, refers predominantly to such minced cutlets, whereas kotleta de volaille, okay, is applied exclusively to the stuffed chicken breast dish. The latter name appears in the pre and post revolutionary Russian literature, in cookbooks as well as in fiction, since the beginning of 20th century and is usually mentioned as a common restaurant dish. The recipe in the classical Russian cookery textbook, the practical fundamentals of the cookery art by the name, between 1899, okay, so that's about 19th century then, includes a complex stuffing similar to quenelle, mixture of minced meat, in this case the rest of the meat of the chicken, and cream, okay, but with butter added, okay. It also points out that are made from whole chicken fillets like the game cutlets a la Marshall. Oh, okay. So yeah, the recipe is preceded by similar one for hazel grouse cutlets. Okay, with a quenelle and truffle stuffing. Oh, they use truffle as well. Fancy then. Fancy food. Another Russian cookbook published at the same time gives basically identical recipes, and notes that the only difference between them is that the former are made of chicken, while the latter are made of game, such as hazel grouse, black cock, etc. Okay, so game I think is from what is it? From hard meat, I think. I'm not sure, like some kind of tough meat, I think. Yeah, that's called game, right? Again, let me know if I'm not really sure about the, like I'm not first English speaker, so um, yeah, that's why, right? I think game is more like tough meat. It's kind of, it's not like, what is it? It's not as tender as chicken fillet, I guess, but it's more like stiff, right? It's stiffer, I think. Anyway, let me know if I'm wrong because I don't know enough of that, right? So yeah. The term denotes in French cookery tender pieces or meat, such as cutlets, escalopes with breads or chicken breast, which are treated l'anglaise, okay, English style, coated with egg and breadcrumbs and sauteed, okay. So they sauteed it, okay. Interesting. Numerous recipes of such dishes, some of them with stuffings, are described in both Western and Russian cookbooks of the 19th century. Among the stuffed versions, one finds a recipe for stuffed with truffles and herbs in the art of French cuisine, and a similar filet with herbs by Urbain Dubois. Okay. The most successful Russian cookbook of the 19th century has included since its first edition in 1861 an elaborate recipe for hazel grouse stuffed with uh, Madeira sauce or portobello mushrooms and truffles. Okay, so there's that. That's the complex one, right? Um, Okay, a Pozarski cutlet served with sauteed potatoes. Okay, so there's that. The main difference between the old time and the modern chicken kiev is that the elaborate stuffings of the former are replaced by butter. Okay, so they make it simple, and just use butter instead of the complex stuffing. Oh, okay, so there's that, right? The use of butter for chicken has been known in Russian cuisine at least since the invention of in the first half of the 19th century. Cutlets are breaded ground chicken patties for which butter is added to minced meat. This results in an especially juicy and tender consistency. Oh my god. I just can, like imagining this kind of food, it kind of makes me hungry, honestly. Like, like it's pretty much fancy food, right? Like, yeah, it's like pretty much fancy and like for high class, right? But yeah, there's that at least. The dish was okay, a widely appraised invention of 19th century, which was also adopted by France and subsequently by the international cuisine. While the roots of chicken kiev can thus be tracked back to French haute cuisine and Russian cookery, the origin of the particular recipe known today as chicken kiev remains disputed. Okay, so um, the origin is kind of unknown, right? Because like, who was the first person to decide to what is it like exchange? I guess the ingredients, like the stuff filling from those kind of herbs and then spices and then like all other stuff, right? With simply just butter, right? Maybe that makes more flavor into the chicken. Who knows, right? Maybe at the time the person who did that didn't actually have a lot of stuff going around, right? Maybe they only have chicken and um, some leftover bread, right? And that's about it, probably, right? So they just make this, right? They roll the chicken with having the butter inside. Maybe just for flavoring, right? Maybe they need some kind of fat into it as well because Russian territory, I would say it's quite cold. Like, yeah, it's like up north in the northern hemisphere of Earth, right? It means that the temperature is kind of lower than the ones in the equatorial line, right? So yeah, maybe they need more fat intake. That's why also probably that person just decided to put butter inside, right? Just for the extra fat as well as maybe for the flavor, probably, right? Or simply just because they don't have anything going around, right? So yeah, again, this is probably like the one that you cook at home and then you introduce to your neighbor and then your neighbor likes it and then it becomes a thing, right? Like every now and then you cook this and then your neighbor get this and then you share the recipe to your neighbor and then yeah, just like that the recipe got spread out through the nation, right? Maybe that's the case there, right? So yeah, probably that's what happened back then. I'm not entirely sure as well, right? Um, but yeah, it's probably from mouth to mouth. Well, obviously there is no phone back then anyway. Well, there was, but internet was kind of not a thing just yet, right? So like unlike nowadays where you can pretty much search recipe from any part from the world, right? Like literally oceans away from you, like continents away from you, you can recreate that recipe, right, with ease, and you can know the recipe just as easy as like using your phone, right? But back then in the past, like if you have some kind of dish from Asia and then you're from Russian, and then it will be difficult, right, for you to get the recipe from Asia, and then maybe if you're American as well, right? It will be difficult for you to get recipe from the world because internet was not a thing just yet. So yeah, anyway, let's continue individual attributions. I think this one's just for the more history, I guess. Um, yeah, like this is from time to time, right? I think I'm going to skip this part because as you can see, there is so many. What is it? So many. What is it? Um, so many history basically, right? And I might not have a lot of time for this actually, but yeah, actually, I'm going to read this paragraph because this is 2022, so it's kind of now, right? Basically, after the Russian Federation started an open war of aggression against Ukraine in 2022, supermarket chains in the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada changed their labeling from a Russian spelling to the Ukrainian form, Chicken Kiev, to show respect and support for Ukraine and Ukrainians. Oh, okay, so I see. Um, yeah, like Chicken Kiev, I think it was pronounced with Kiev, right? That's the Russian spelling. But since the thing happened in the beginning of this year, until now actually it's still going. By the way, apparently people just don't pay attention that much anymore. I think I'm not sure, right? But yeah, they changed from Kiev to Kyiv now, right? So yeah, it kind of changed, right? To show respect and support for Ukraine and Ukrainians. I mean that just makes sense, right? But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. Not in my part to talk about that. Anyway, I can talk about it, despite of not having any idea. But then again, it will be kind of invalid, right? If I talk about that, so I'm not gonna discuss about that anyway. Uh, Actually, let's go for the next chapter, which is variants. Okay, so it's probably the variants of chicken give. Oh my god, I just got. I'm now hungry. Honestly, um, chicken give is made from a boned and chicken skin breast, which is cut lengthwise, pounded and stuffed with butter. Western recipe usually call for garlic butter, while in Russian ones regular butter is used. Herbs, parsley, and dill. Oh, okay, so it's parsley. Yeah, like I said as well. I think I said parsley as well, right? Can be added to the butter. So it has some the what is it like the stingy or the minty, not really minty, but more like the stingy taste, right, or flavor, I guess, from the herbs. In some American recipes, butter is replaced by blue cheese. Okay, so yeah, pretty much chicken cordon bleu, right? Probably, I'm not sure. Um, okay, I'm gonna skip this again. I think this is basically the same anyway. For serving, the bone is usually covered with a frilled paper napkin. Oh, so they make it kind of like drumstick then. Um, okay. Version. Oh, this is for the other version, right? Okay, so you can use basically you can use fillet. Also, you can use the one that has bones, but you kind of make it look like drumstick, right? But yeah, can also be like I think there is a picture. Yeah, this one, right? This one doesn't have the bone, so yeah, it's pretty much like a wrap thing, right? I don't know what how to call that. Like yeah, basically like chicken cordon bleu, right? Um, so yeah, this is the usual way of serving chicken cave in the U.S. A spherically shaped version was developed by English chef Jesse Dunford Wood. Okay, so yeah, classical version with bone retained as served in Kiev. Oh, okay, so if you ordered in Kiev, you probably got this. Also, I like that there is this something over here, these balls. Oh, I think this is the mashed potato. I think they mentioned about eating this with mashed potato, probably right, but it kind of small amount of mashed potato honestly for this big of meat. But yeah, also this I don't know what this is. Is this like tomato or what is it like sauce? I don't know. I don't know what that is actually. Maybe not sauce because the sauce is usually stuffed inside. So yeah, I think that's just tomato. I think or I don't know pepper probably. It's kind of weird, but yeah, probably tomato. Um, and this is the boneless version. Yeah, this is the mashed potato, and then there's I guess there's lemon if you want a little bit acidity in that. But yeah, convenience food. Okay, so what is it? Pre-prepared chicken give. Oh, okay. So convenience food is probably like the fast food version of that. Okay, so there you go. It kind of looks like chicken fillet only, but yeah. Um, in the middle, semi-processed ground meat cutlets were introduced in the USSR. Okay, yeah, I guess they just make it so that it's kind of practical, right? So they have these, ready to store, right? Like in frozen state. That's pretty much the best way to serve preserve food, right? Especially during the I don't know, like during war era again. They probably use a lot of frozen stuff as well, right? But I mean, not only back then, nowadays anyway, people just want things to be instant and quick, right? I guess it makes sense that, like pretty much you have the chicken fillet already frozen, right? And then you thaw it and then, yeah, like turn into patties like this. Um, this is probably the bottom one, and then you put the cold butter on top of this, and then you cover, you put the second piece of patty on top of that, and that's about it, right? Like maybe you put some kind of, I don't know, like some sticky food stuff that can basically make it sticky, right? So that the two patties can stick together, pretty much it, right? But yeah, so there's that. Similar dishes. Okay, so among other dishes similar to chicken Kiev, the aforementioned chicken cordon bleu. Oh yeah, okay, with a cheese and ham filling instead of butter is particularly popular in the West. The recipe of Serbian breaded veal or pork cutlet was inspired by chicken Kiev. Oh, okay, so chicken cordon bleu. Okay, I guess there's that. So it's different from that. In a way that chicken cordon bleu you will need cheese and ham, but for the chicken Kiev itself you kind of only need cold butter and that's about it, right? Obviously you can put garlic, parsley into the mixtures of the cold butter, but you don't really need cheese and ham, right? You can use that probably, right? But maybe the butter is already enough to make it the creamy sauce, right? To make it less dry, I guess it kind of makes sense because usually chicken breast is the part that can be very dry, like very quickly as well if you cook it too long or even short time they will still end up a little bit dry, right? So I guess that makes sense to have the creamy sauce like cheese and ham, I guess, in the West, or you can just use butter, right, to make it to have it more liquid as well. So yeah, there you have it. Similar dish, culture reference. Chicken Kiev is the name used by William Sapphire for a speech made in Kiev during August 1991 by then U.S. President George Bush, I guess, cautioning Ukrainians against. Okay, so it's a good food then because, yeah, like cautioning Ukrainians against that terrible thing, right? In 2018, a bronze miniature sculpture of Chicken Kiev, oh, they make it as well, was placed on Horodeki Street in Kiev near the restaurant Chicken Kiev. The sculpture became the first of a set of such mini sculptures depicting famous symbols of Kiev, placed throughout the city as part of an art project. Okay, so it's pretty much the same as Tula Prianik as well. So in Tula Prianik, they have the a statue or sculpture for the Prianik, right? And they also dedicate a museum for Prianik in general in Russia. So it kind of makes sense that they also do the same with Chicken Kiev in Ukraine, right? I think, yeah, in Kiev, right? So yeah, it kind of nice. They don't seem to mention any museum for that. Maybe they have museum, but not specifically for chicken Kiev. Maybe they have museum for old fashioned or old food recipe, right? Like food cuisine in the past, right? Maybe they have that, and maybe they have chicken Kiev in it, like as a part of it, not just one museum only dedicated for chicken Kiev, right? So yeah, there you go. There's bronze miniature in the near restaurant called Chicken Kiev. That's pretty much self-explanatory, right? The restaurant is called Chicken Kiev. It also serves chicken Kiev. Well, obviously, right? Again, same also as the Tula Prianik. These kind of make me want to travel there. Honestly, like just visiting the Kiev, visiting the restaurant, trying out myself some, original chicken Kiev from Kiev, right? Like eat that in Kiev basically, right? So yeah, the same I said to Tula Bianik as well. Just go to Tula and um, try myself some original Tula Prianik, right? But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, this is all the reference, I guess. All of these reference. Yeah, like I predicted as well. Most of this is probably in Russian because, or in Ukrainian probably. But yeah, because obviously it originates from there, right? But yeah, anyway, I think that'll be it for today's discussion, I guess, about Chicken Kiev. Kind of the as well video because we talk about Chicken Kiev, right? Which is, I took the idea from the game, from the Chicken Kiev, because I had the question about what's the difference between Chicken Kiev and Chicken Cordon Bleu in general. And we kind of learned that, right? That, the answers kind of answered already. So basically, Chicken Cordon Bleu, you will need ham and cheese, but for chicken Kiev, you only need cold butter for in exchange for that, right? But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the Arts Royal video. Uh, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again very soon, and see ya. Actually, I forgot about one thing. I said that I kind of want to take a look at the pictures from Google Image. Well, I guess some bonus stuff. I guess. Okay, so I will be right back. Okay, so here we are in the Google Image. I guess I'm sorry for that. Like in the beginning, I said that we also wanted to check about the Google Image pictures as well, right? So, because I almost forgot and I remembered. So here we are right now. Extra content, I guess. So this is Chicken Kiev, I guess. I just pretty much search about this and look at this. This looks really nice, right? Um, yeah, I guess the yellow part over here is just the melted butter, right? And then this is pretty much what it looks like. Yeah, pretty much different from chicken cordon bleu if you ask me, because chicken cordon bleu kind of has multiple rolls, so you roll that multiple times, right? But it seems like this one you only roll one time and that's about it. um, so I guess there's that at least, right? Yeah, uh, look great, amazing. Again, I kind of want to try this myself. Maybe one day, like one day I will go there, right? Just try it myself. So yeah, there's this deal over here, or what is it like? What this is not deal. What is it called again? The one that you need, right? For pasting steaks in general. I forgot what it's called, but yeah. Um, and then this, yeah, it just looks amazing usually. Yeah, so usually you eat this with mashed potato, right? Maybe you can also use rice as well probably, but who knows, right? But I think it's supposed to be like this one, mashed potato over here. You just eat this with mashed potato, right? Pretty much it. You can probably eat this with rice as well, who knows, right? um, it depends, right? It depends what's your style. Oh, this one also, it only use chunk potato, I guess, like boiled potato probably, and serve it in chunks, I guess. There's that, and then yeah, looks amazing if you ask me. Kind of want to try myself out, but again, maybe I want to make this myself at home. Maybe in the future I will, like search for recipe and then I can follow, right? Maybe from other YouTube video as well that I can look and yeah, just try out the recipe, right? Looks amazing though, honestly. Again, it looks delicious, I can tell just from the look. Also the taste, I can see the I can imagine the taste of the chicken. Well, obviously the taste of the garlic butter inside, and the whole stuff not being dry, right? Because there's liquid there, which is the butter that acts as a sauce or liquid form, right? So that the chicken breast is not dry. And yeah, again, looks amazing. Will try myself probably in the future, who knows, right? At this point, who knows what's gonna happen with the channel anyway. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been the Arts Royal video. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again very soon, and see ya.